Mitsumi found out that she might be in love with Shima, that or she can somehow share the same feeling as being in love with her friend Shima. I don't know, we'll just have to figure it out in this episode. If you guys like the video, like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. I do have early access on the YouTube memberships and the full length up on Patreon. But other than that, let us get started. Wow! Congrats! She's getting a secretary position. Roundtable discussion. This isn't a round table at all! It's a square! What a bunch of fucking liars. Oh, she's the... Oh, she's the new? Oh. Oh, she's vice president. This is not the same guy, right? I'm gonna make it short and painless as possible so we can go out and get a beer. I very much enjoy that he's wearing a nice little Hawaiian shirt. Yeah, having to pick up the president's shit. Yeah, good job, second place person. Her wounds are fresh, and you've just poured salt on it. And then somebody else entered just before the deadline, and then he won. Oh no, he's a hot boy! Like Shima-kun, oh my god, he is a hot boy! The guys will vote for him. Who gives a shit? People rarely pay attention. Yeah. Yeah, only because you told us. But nobody knows how hard she's working! Translation. Don't you reckon? What's done is done. Or he's gonna push it all onto you. That's usually how the president position goes. Alright, we'll see if he actually bothers to fucking read it. Be gone, himbo! Oh, she's thinking about the fact that he nailed a joke because that he was born to lead. Oh, now we're back to July. Hard work builds confidence. People don't... It'll pay off someday. But if you want to be in leadership, you have to be able to, you know, get along with the people. Star, wow. What is she seeing out of this? What, you didn't edit this out? The piece! Alright. Alright. Is it less time written and just more of stuff that she's going to do? Tomatoes and watermelons? Uh-oh. What are you gonna do? Shima-suke. Well, I guess now Chan's gotta... Oh, is this a girl from a... I was gonna say from a different school, but... Yeah, it might be. It's a different skirt. She had a ribbon. How dare she! She just wanted to bone. I can't have this. The Madonna. Because everybody's going into summer vacation. Yeah, so they might as well get everything out. It's 100% guarantee you can't just be friends. Hot stuff. Oh. Oh, alright, bringing Mika right into the group. You're in the perimeter, so. How about we don't? Oh, it's Mitsumi who you all gravitate towards. Of course, it's always not that bad on weekdays. Adults don't get summer breaks. Oh, you want to go to the zoo? Dumb luck or not. Mm-hmm. Oh, it could be reality. Her words came out, but her thoughts were different. Mika's just over like, oh shit! I guess you are not like other girls, huh? 100% friends. Oh. Meanwhile, Mika's just outside. Really fucking be out here going, huh, as she walks away. Oh. So his sister? Oh. Oh, Mika's just coming out too, so. Oh. Maybe not sister then. He just left. What is this fucking ethereal sounding music? Ririka. She sure was unique. Oh. Oh! Oh! Of course Mika knows her. She knows everything. Very fun. I like that last part, right? Because I assume with her saying, like, don't you reckon, like, that's like her accent coming out, right? Leaking out. I like that, like, in, you know, second episode, the whole talk of like Mika making fun of her accent from what Yuzuki said, but we kind of have that again. Not really making fun of, but just her bouncing back her accent. That's very fun. What a fun name, Ririka. I guess he knows her from his child acting days, right? So I would assume they're, for the most part, just friends. Unless he's, you know, had decided at some point decided to date some girls while still being listless. I guess that's the third rumor that we were hearing in the last episode, right? Where they were talking about how he might have a girlfriend who's a model. Actually, that does match, because like yeah, the whole rumor about how he's already got a girlfriend, that's why he pushes all the other girls aside, because this girl's like a fucking model or something. And I assume that's really got from all the rumors, right? Because sometimes rumors, well, hopefully most rumors, but you know, some rumors do stem off of facts before it gets like it goes through like the game of telephone, and then it gets lost and it gets lost in the sauce. So yeah, I assume that's the third one. And if that's the case, right, does that, I was thinking when Shima was talking about how he would often stay with his friend who was from his child acting day, and it kind of makes me, at first I thought it was maybe Chris, but you know, because they showed us, that was like the one time they showed us that he's hanging out with someone, so I was thinking maybe it's Chris. But now I'm just like, maybe it's also Ririka, you know, like maybe. But then, right? But then it might not be Ririka, or it might still be. I don't know. But the only thing that kind of that blocks that idea is the fact that he tells Mitsumi that she's the first real friend. To which I guess he wouldn't consider Ririka a real girlfriend, right? So, whatever. Well, I'm just gonna go write my notes and we will be right back to the center. Round table discussion. Agenda. Things about Tsubame West that are fine as they are, and those that need an update. All students across all years are free to join. Hope to see you there. Okay. And then we see all these kids in the, not round table, it's a square table. I get what they mean by round table, but I'm just taking it literally. And so there's Mitsumi with her laptop, right? She's the secretary, so she's gotta keep all the notes and such. Who's the finance person then, you know? Who's the one who took over, Takamine's? Okay. Was the clear favorite in my mind. Okay. So I love that the sad fucking like in this view, right, with the you got like the nice proper text box for the council president, and then we've got just this crudely drawn box pointing at Takamine that says vice president. Damn, dude, the disrespect. Also, we hate Kazakami in this house. I don't like him. He's a hot guy as well. How fucking dare he? I don't appreciate these hot boys, alright? Shima, last episode. Look, I've come to accept him for who he is. Alright? But this guy? How dare he? I don't appreciate him. How fucking dare you not take his job seriously? I hate him. That reminds me, I needed to go through this opener again just because I feel like I wasn't. So, it's July, our term finals are in the rear view. Summer break is also coming right after the finals. I hope you're doing well in Ikajima. She's writing to her family. Right? Just for today, I'll stop worrying about my grades. And the other stuff bothering me, aka Shima. It's the first time I've ever been real friends with a girl. I feel like forgetting all about them. Okay, so but it's not all fun and games. There's a student council. Okay, so what is this? Just her... I'm feeling like forgetting all about them. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me go back to the speech that Kazakami had said. Right, thanks for joining us today. The all-new student council is raring to get to work. And we'd like to take your ideas into account and make our school even better. I'm sure you're all worn out from the exam, so I think I'll cut my speech short here. Great work today. Go home and get some rice. I mean, I'll be honest, having a quick closing speech that takes you, that basically gets through all the main points, and just being like, alright, you know, I know you're fucking tired and all that, so just go home and rest. It's not a bad speech, right? It's actually, I mean, I'll be honest, right? If I'm working with someone who's like, you know, in a higher up position or whatever, and that's the sort of shit that they tell me during the meeting, right towards the end, like, I don't want this long ass fucking speech about like how we're family or whatever, right? Or like, oh, we're gonna do great, we're gonna be great people, we're gonna do this, and this. But like, if you just give out all the main points and then just be like, alright, you know, that's fucking it, just go home and rest. I'll be like, hell yeah, this is fucking great. So, as much as I would say that we hate Kazakami in this house, it's a nice speech. it just ends right there. It's just fucking done. You're done. You can go home now. It's great. Maybe next time you can just send a fucking email to everybody instead of having a meeting. Okay, so we had a little bit of... I keep forgetting everybody's name just because we're all speaking more or less in last names. So, Kanechika. Okay. Kanechika is out here, and Mitsumi's asking, I didn't know you took parts in roundtables. Believe it or not, I've never missed one that didn't overlap with clubs. Okay. After all, great ideas are born from such communication. Okay. So this is Kanechika coming out, being a little insensitive, as he says, right? Him coming out, fucking rubbing salt on the wound, which is just, Jesus Christ. He's really over here like, oh, it's a shame that the presidential election turned out like this, but you know what? At least you've got vice president, that's pretty good. Also, aren't vice presidents don't they do a lot more than presidents anyways? It was like, I know you're hardworking, so you'll fucking get it. It's just like, damn, dude. God, this man did not just sprinkle a little bit of salt. He grabbed like a handful of salt and just slapped it right on her wound. Jesus Christ. So, I wanted to cheer her up, but I couldn't. But I've begun to realize the same thing that she has. I just said begum. Hard work builds confidence, but... it's scary that all we can do is hope that it'll pay off someday. And so it showcases the flower bed with like just weeds growing on there. And it's just kind of like the hard work that's like underneath, right? The seeds that's been growing down there that hasn't fully sprouted. So like you don't see it, you only see this dirty bedpost, a flower bed. And then towards the end, right after, because I was wondering why Kanechika came over towards the end of the first half, and he started showing his 5th grade stuff, right? And I was trying to figure out like, why did he do that? What does he do that for? And I realized now that he did that because after this whole speech that Mitsumi is talking about, where hard work builds confidence, but it's scary that all we can do is hope that it'll pay off someday. And so I guess, you know, he decides to bring his hard work on over to the student council and showcases it, right? And at the very least, it helps Takamine learn a little bit something, right? And yet he's showing it anyways. And why show it to us? Isn't this hilarious? I know you guys are trying to be polite, but it's okay to laugh. Of course, I want to create something amazing someday and gain widespread acclaim. But between never showing this awful thing to anyone and making you three laugh, I decide to choose the latter. And then the dad comes in. Okay, hold on. Because, like, we don't really get to see Takamine's expression, right? We're showcasing Shima instead, who's just over here like, I'm fucking bored. So we don't really get to see what her expression is until a little bit right here where, right, the dad comes in. Oh, peace, peace. God, what a fucking dad. So it's very nice they started chuckling, right? They've got, he's over here like, look, you guys don't have to be polite, be polite and not laugh at it. And then they start laughing at it, and he's just like, all right, showtime's over, everybody leave. Even though it's the they're this fucking they're in the student council office, and he's telling two of the members like, go home. Finally help me to come in terms. Magnanimity? Like she's only looking at like she's only looking at macro and she's not looking at the micro? Hold on, let me go search up magna, because like magna as in like magnify, right? Magnanimity. Oh no, it's just magnanimous. That's the word it's saying. Magnanimous, the factor condition of being magnanimous generosity. Okay. Alright, okay. So playfulness and generosity. Okay. So, be more approachable, wear bright colors and accessories, have a smile on my face normally. When someone calls out to me, stop whatever I'm doing and talk to them. Goes for summer break, invite Yamamori-san and Sukada-san to the festival, pick out 3 trendy places I want to go to, eggs, singer, pancakes. Might have to line up even on a weekday. This may be an easy place to start. Okay. And then she's got like, she just printed out the she just printed out like the what is this? It's just a page of the restaurant, and then like the ratings there too. I'm assuming that's a 4 out of 5, or is it a 3 out of 4? I'm assuming it's 3 out of 4. Okay. No, 4 out of 5. Okay. If you ask someone you barely know for their details, that's 100% guarantee you can't just be friends. What is that? What if you just want to be friends? I'm just over. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe if you're asking specifically in, like, the opposite sex, I guess, you know, because, like, the whole misconception of boys and girls can't be friends with each other because, I don't know, you know, boys only think with their dicks and all they want to do is bone a girl, and they can't just have girl friends, right? It's gotta be one word, not 2 words. It takes real guts and courage. And so she's thinking back about how that girl ends up asking for details. Okay, so they're putting their best out there, and that make any guy super happy. Hear that, girl head Megan. I love it. These dudes are like, please just ask me out. I'm desperate. I just want a girlfriend. And these girls are just like, come on now. I don't give a shit about who you are. God. Very fun. Anyways, with Mitsumi listening over and how she's thinking, like, if it weren't for sheer dumb luck, I might have gotten shot down too. Where... So do you want to be friends? He's like, oh, no. I can't help but sympathize with the girls. But didn't Shima ask you for your phone number? Right? He's the one who came up to you, asked you for your phone number, or your line, or whatever, right? And then that's... and the funniest thing is that the only reason why I remember that specific detail is because it's follow-up by Mika. And that's like one of the biggest reasons I only remember, because it has to do something with Mika, right? Because the only reason why Mika decided to get get Mitsumi's details was because Mitsumi had Shima's details. Very fun, very fun. The youngest HT cover girl in history. What is HT? What is HT? Okay, so the youngest cover girl in history. Saijo Ririka. Okay, so Ririka, when we first saw her, I was kind of thinking in my mind, like, have we seen her before? And I feel like we might have. In, like, the first episode, right, when Shima was talking to all his middle school friends. And she might have been one of the... Because I don't remember if the girls said anything. I mainly remember it was Chris who was talking. So, just in case, just want to make sure. I'm gonna go look at episode 1. And, well, we'll see how this goes. It should be all the way towards the end. It is her, yeah. So, yeah, she did talk, right? So, how's your Lilos? Did they ever showed, yeah, they never showed her face. Okay. So they didn't show the other girl's face either. But there was a chance in hell, but, okay. So, was it with the girl? I should get going. You're leaving already? Was it really a girl? That was fast. And she's like, don't run away. Okay. Okay, so it was her. Very nice, very nice. Alright, so that was episode 7 of Skip and Loafer. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a pretty good episode. I was genuinely surprised when we saw Takamine get yet another half, get another half scenario. I was surprised. I was thinking like, oh, maybe each episode-ish, right, we'll get a segment with one of the side characters, and then when Takamine had gotten hers, I was just kind of like, okay, that's done, right? Maybe we'll see her from time to time, but I didn't expect her to get another half segment. But when I really think about it, it's quite understandable because of the way that Mitsumi sees Takamine, right? She looks up to Takamine. And when we think of both of their characters, they are quite similar to one another, right? Especially in how people perceive them from the outside. But I'll talk about that as we get to it. So let us head on over to the beginning of this episode, which is also after Mitsumi making the announcement that she is now the student council secretary, right? They've got the whole voting thing now, and she's been working with them, working with the volunteer club, essentially, for a while, so now she has been elected the secretary. Good for her. And then we saw that, we saw a little bit of it was a misdirection from Mitsumi, right? With her talking about, like, oh, it's for the new student council president. And then we thought that maybe it was Takamine, but the reality was that she lost the presidential election, and it was this boy instead. His name is Kazakami. I know that I was talking about how, like, his speech here is actually, I would actually love this type of person in terms of, like, speeches, just make it quick and short and painless as possible so we can all go home and crack a beer. I don't know why I keep quoting the old, why can't I remember the movie? It's the, oh man, I can't remember now. It's the one by Stephen King. It had like a not recent, it was like a 2020 adaptation that just absolutely sucked, and I'm talking about the other, the first adaptation from like the 90s or something, or the 80s, I can't remember. Anyways, that aside, I know I did say that, but after going through his scene again, I've decided that we hate Kazakami in this house. I'm back to it. I hate this guy. I don't like it. He's kind of done nothing wrong yet, right? We haven't really seen him make any sort of mistake as president, and then Takamine has to clean up for him. We haven't really seen that yet, but I don't like him already. I've decided. But it's whatever. Anyways, so with Kazakami, right, he became the president mainly because he had gotten an injury and he couldn't be captain of the soccer club, or at the very least, that's what Takamine had thought, right? She was just like, oh, he's got an injury, so hopefully he's going to put all his energy into being the president now, right? Hopefully he's serious at his job because now he is the president. But then after the loss and with Takamine talking about how, hopefully he's going to be a good president, and she was going to give him these notes that she's been keeping notes since she was a first year, to which, it's a good thing she didn't give it to him, because I'll be honest, he's probably the guy who does not give a single shit about it, and she writes very detailed notes. And, if you just look at her notes, it's just like, oh, I don't want to fucking read this. Get this fucking shit out of here. But as she was talking about that, we hear his actual reason on joining the president, on becoming the president, right? Even though his injury could have been, if he just waited a bit, right? He could have recovered from his injury, and he could have just been captain of the soccer club. Was it the soccer club? I only remember soccer because I was just like, they've Americanized it. Or maybe he said football, I don't remember. But I'm gonna assume it's the soccer club for now. But he said that he doesn't want to join a club in his third year, and the only reason why he became the president is because it's only for one term, so he doesn't have to continue it into his third year for the most part. And it puts him on the radar for the teachers, right? Give him a little bit of a good rep. And, for someone like Takamine, that's not really a good reason to become president, right? And especially it's the idea of Takamine, and also through Mitsumi as well. With the conversation before all of this, when she was talking with Mika and the crew, right? Mika knows everything, so I love that Mitsumi ends up talking to Mika about it, right? She's just like, wow, she really knows everything. She knows everybody. I need all the information. Let's just go to Mika. But yeah, with Mika talking about how, well, he's on the same popular level as Shima, and he was going to become a captain, so that meant that he had some good leadership skills. So he already earns the respect of the boys, and of course the girls are going to vote for him because he's a hot boy. Just the merit of being hot. And I like that Mitsumi's out here rapping for her girl Takamine, talking about how, she works really hard, she's been in the student council since the first year. People have to know that. And Mika just straight up says, hey, the only reason I know that she's a hard worker is because you keep telling me about it. Everybody else outside, they don't fucking know that, and for the most part, they're going to think that she's just some scary and serious girl. And as much as it is, right, if you want to vote, especially in a presidential election, in school and such, right, kids aren't really going to think about, oh, this person's going to make the school better, even though it's technically an elite school, so an elite prep school. But when people vote, they're not really gonna be thinking about how they're gonna make our school better and whatever. It's just gonna be whoever catches my attention first, which is also why one of the good ways to win the presidential election here in America, for school, I mean, for the ASB teams and all that, just fucking make cupcakes. Give people food. They'll be like, yeah, I'll fucking vote for you. They gave me free food. Get them by their fucking stomach. Anyways, Mika and the crew basically lined up the reasons why Kazakami is going to win and why Takamine is going to lose. And, Mitsumi is just like, no, people will understand. They'll understand that she's just a hard worker. And then it didn't happen, right? And then after that, they hear about how Kazakami literally didn't even... Well, I mean, he didn't say it, but the way that he is with his attitude, right? He probably didn't even try hard at all. And also the fact that he put in his presidential slip right at the last minute of the deadline, right? He's just like, oh, slip it right in, and then he fucking won. So that gets us to this scene. I think I did talk about the scene before the flashback with Kanechika, but I'm thinking about Kanechika. I'm lengthening it, aren't I? Kanechika. Because the chi is very short, right? It's Kanechika. Anyways, whatever. I'm probably butchering it even more. Anyways, so she talks about this whole idea of hard work builds confidence, but it's scary that all we can do is hope that it'll pay off someday. And it kind of goes back to the idea of hard work don't often get recognized, right? And it goes back to what Mika was saying. Like, I only know that she's a hard worker because you told me about it, right? Outside, to the people outside, if you just look at her, I don't know if she works hard or not, and I don't give a shit. It truly is the opinion of the fucking public. It kind of goes to what is it, Akane? I think that's her name, from Oshino Ko, where, you know, she works hard and she does all this hard work, but the internet just does not see it, right? All they see is the bad parts. All the bad parts, and then they create baseless rumors and such. So hard work don't often get recognized, and it makes Mitsumi a little scared that, oh man, I could also be doing this as well, but then I won't earn the recognition. And after this, right, Kanechika goes and he shows them a nice little movie, right? He really just came in and he's just like, all right, watch a fucking movie with me, y'all. This is my debut film back when I was in 5th grade, and I wanted to be a film director. And as I said, at first, I didn't really understand why he decided to just suddenly come in and just showed it, other than him just being himself. He really just came in, it's like, all right, guys, movie time. But the way that he goes and he says it, right? He says, well, eventually, I'm going to make a big hit, right? I'm going to make a wave, and I'm going to garner the people's attention. But until then, I've got this fucking film, this debut film, that I could either hide forever, or I could make the three of you laugh, right? And I've decided to chosen the latter, so fucking laugh, damn you. I'm already embarrassed enough as it is. And from what I kind of garner from this, and I assume what Takamine can also garner from this, is that, you know, perhaps one can have failures in life as long as you don't give up, right? Here is Kanechika coming out and showing a very embarrassing side of him. It's something that could be very, you know, personal, because he literally said, I would never show anybody this, right? This is something that maybe you couldn't have waterboarded out of me, but I've decided to show this embarrassing piece of myself. And again, perhaps it's to just show Takamine and also Mitsumi as well that it's okay to get to this down part of your life, or to have this sort of failure, as long as you're continuing to build up on it. At the very least, in the next scene, from what Takamine was talking about, she said, you see, it helped me finally come to terms with everything. I need to learn to be more generous and playful. And it kind of, I would assume, just from seeing the way that, from Kanechika, the way that Kanechika is, right? And also seeing Kazakami. And perhaps she starts to come to the realization that one of the biggest reasons why she's not won the position of leadership is because she's not at this position where people would want to follow her, right? They kind of just see her from the outside and are just like, I don't know about her. I don't really want her to lead, but this hot guy, though, hell yeah, I'd let him put me on a leash any day, right? So it's nice that this is what Takamine got out of it, right? She wants to learn to be more generous, to be more playful, to smile more to people. It's kind of what she learned in the other episode, that where she had the half segment as well, with that one guy who was very angry at her for her being just, for the most part, stuck up and not accepting his shit. And like the moment she smiled at him, like later on, right after learning from Mitsumi, right, she smiled at him and it's just like, okay, thank you, this is really good. She started complimenting him. That guy started like, oh no, it's a girl who's nice to me. Ah! So we do see that when she did that in the other episode, it does affect people. Or at least that one guy, as long as she continues to learn that and continues to, doing what she's planning on doing, right? Do a little relaxation activities and all that for a summer break. You know, hopefully she'll learn to loosen up a little bit. And also, as what she ends up saying to Kazakami, right? I hope to learn a lot from you. A lot from you, the guy who he probably doesn't care about the whole presidential stuff. Maybe he cares, right? I mean, he has to keep a good face if he wants to get in a good rep with the teachers, right? Because like the teachers could write him recommendations and stuff for universities, I believe. So he wants to have a good rep with the teachers. So hopefully he actually does his job and not just push everything on over to Takamine. And if I fucking see that, how fucking dare he? But yeah, the show's been for the most part good at showcasing us characters who are not just one-dimensional, right? They feel like real humans. Anyways, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is the list that she made specifically, which I like because it's still very much her, but it's not, all of it isn't dictated by a certain time, right? Minute by minute. It's not dictated by that anymore. So at the very least, she's learned from that she doesn't have to dictate her stuff through minute by minute anymore, right? It really helps you with your fucking time anxiety. But despite that, right, she's still very her, and she writes all the things that she wants to do, and she's very detailed about it. And I like that, right? Just write down a to-do list of what you want to do. There's no need for a fucking deadline, albeit she did say for summer break, so there is technically a deadline, but it's not minute by minute. It's not hour by hour, right? It's just, all right, I'm gonna do this today, or I'm gonna do tomorrow. Who cares if, I hopefully it's who cares if I don't get it done, but, let's try and get it done. And hopefully not fucking freak out about the fact that you didn't get all the stuff on your list done by the end of summer break. But, we'll just have to see when it happens, I mean. But that's pretty much the whole segment with Takamine. I did say that I was going to mention about how Mitsumi and Takamine are similar, and then I've just forgotten about it. But, the whole similarity is that from the outside, people see her as this serious and scary person. And that's sort of how people think about Mitsumi as well. And the both of them are very serious in their endeavors. It's just that they don't have that, they don't have the riz, I guess. Right? Kazakami, he's got the riz, and that's why he became president. That's just the one thing that Takamine and Mitsumi have to learn. But again, the both of them, the characters are very similar to one another. So very, very nice. And we're gonna get into the second half. We did have this small little setup for Nao-chan because she's starting to realize that, well, Mitsumi, her niece, is talking a lot about this boy. I don't know who this boy is, but gotta keep an eye out on this Shima person. Hopefully he's not out here to break her heart or anything, right? Gotta be a little protective of her, so we'll see how this setup goes. And in terms of setup, we did have another setup, which is at the 17-minute mark, somewhere around here, with Yuzuki saying that, hey, we should have a girls' outing over summer break, which is also very fun. She's really, I was gonna say Yuzuki's really out here with the FOMO, but she's the one who wants to invite them and everything. And I just love this because, they're all making the plans here. Mika's just in the back, right? She doesn't really assume that they're going to hang out, but Mitsumi ends up turning around and being like, hey, are your parents cool with you sleeping over? Come on, or you're part of this group. And I like that Mika's just like, I didn't realize I was part of this group, but she doesn't say no, or she kind of just ends up joining them anyways. So very fun. We'll have to see how this outing goes as well, right? With the fucking setup and stuff. Anyways, on to the main part, which is it's summer break is coming. It's close. And so the girls are going all out to ask Shima for his details. And we're just seeing Shima is out here getting asked by girls constantly, God, wasting his fucking time out here. He has to go up to one of them one by one and just being like, no, you cannot have my details. He should just have it on his fucking chest at this point, right? Just have a little sign that says, no, I will not share my details with you. Stop asking me. That'll at least for most part, that'll save him some fucking time. Send a fucking group text to everybody. No! Actually, if he sends a group text, then that technically means he gives everybody the details, so can't exactly do that. I think let's go back to the sign thing. Anyways, Mitsumi sees that that Shima's getting asked out, and she starts overhearing the other boys talking about how other girls are coming to ask him out and all that. But the thing that's more important, and also with Shima saying, I don't think she was asking because she wanted to be friends, right? It's just like, these girls always wanting to bone me. God, I'm such a hot guy. I have such hot guy problem. I'll never not make fun of that. But again, I do get it, right? It does eventually comes into the whole loneliness aspect. So like I get it, but it is still very funny. So Shima ends up asking about her summer break, right? She's going to go home. So she is planning on going home and giving gifts. And I love that he ends up asking like, oh, like to Fumi-chan, right? Who gave you the panda hairpin? And it just showcases that he is actually listening and he is actually keeping this memory he's keeping this memory in a high priority, and that's why he's able to just like bring it right out immediately, like, oh, Fumi, you're your friend, right? She gave you the panda hairpins, which is like, bro, when did she fucking tell you that? It's been months. So very nice, very nice. We see that Mitsumi wants to go to the zoo, but Shima ends up talking about how the zoo might be busy, but then later on, when he discusses it with her, he says that, well, apparently it's not too bad on weekdays, even during summer breaks, right? So, if they go during the weekdays, it'll be fine. They'll be able to do most of the things, which, honestly, agreeable. I much prefer to do things on the weekdays and then stay in on the weekend. That's how I'm usually am, right? I'll go out on the weekdays when everybody else is fucking working, and then I'll just stay indoor on the weekdays, because I don't want to fucking hang out. There's too many people out and about right now. Meanwhile, we've got Mika coming back, and she's over here watching over these two, and Mitsumi ends up blurting that she wants to go with him instead of the group. Right, in her mind, she was thinking, let's go out with a group, with our group of friends, you know, our usual group of friends that we've done before. But as she was thinking that, immediately, her mouth just does it for her, right? Her tongue just decides that I'm gonna fucking lash out, and I'm gonna say, no, I wanna hang out with just you, right? It's just gonna be you and me at the zoo. Which, you know, very nice. I'm glad that it's just the zoo and not an aquarium, because that is restricted only for girls. For two girls going on dates. Being friends, you know, for just two really good friends. Girl friends. Only they can go to aquariums on their first friendly outing. Shima hears this and he decides that, why not, right? If it's with any other girls, he's probably gonna be like, oh, you only want me because you want to go out on a date with me or whatever, right? No thanks. But because he knows that it's Mitsumi and he has admitted that she is his first real his first real girl space friend, he, in his mind, kind of knows that, oh yeah, you know, she just wants to hang out, and that's fine, right? We can fucking hang out. And that's totally cool. And even though Mitsumi was just a tiny bit disappointed that, like, oh, come on now, I'm giving off this big, wait, isn't this a date aura right now? Why aren't you getting it? She comes to realize, oh, maybe he really just sees me as a friend. But even then, I'm still glad that I'm able to hang out with him. And it's nice because, I mean, as we see with Shima, he doesn't, I would assume he doesn't really hang out one-on-one with girls because of the whole idea of they don't want to be friends with me, they just want to bone me. I'm not into that shit. But we've got Mika, who's still listening in on this, and it seems like she's a little bit upset, maybe, right? The thing with Mika is that, and also she was just leaving with a low, and because, like, Mika kind of already grasped the idea that Shima might be in love with Mitsumi, right? And she can probably kind of grasp that Mitsumi might have some feelings for Shima, right? She's not that dumb. She's, especially when it comes to social shit, right? She's able to catch up on that. She follows trends and stuff as well. I don't know how that matches with social stuff, but yeah. and so, yeah, she's not happy with it, and it makes me wonder if, because, like, when she was thinking about how, I was like, oh man, Mitsumi's really out here running out to talk to Shima and all that, and then the girl group came up to her, it's just like, oh, does this mean that you like him as well? Is this a love triangle sort of thing? And then she denies it, right? Is that denial an actual denial, or it's just her denying to deny, right? Because she doesn't want to talk about it with the girl group. So, you know, like, perhaps she might have some sort of feelings, or this somehow just triggers her insecurities. We'll just have to see as we continue with this, right? And so, we've got a phone call. Shima's got a phone call from one of his friend from middle school. And as I said, we did see her before. We didn't see her whole face. And she decided to ask Mika to show her I wrote Shima's school, but it's supposed to be his class, right? To show his classroom. So Ririka comes in, looks at the classroom, right? Oh, it's so average. And also, she's a tall girl, because of course she is. So she's a model, right? Of course she's gotta get the height and all that. And so with Mitsumi coming in, right, like, might you be Mika's friend, Mika-chan's friend? And she just smiles, and she's just like, I'm starting to get it. And I suppose that probably comes from the first episode and the conversation that Shima was talking about, and then with Chris being like, oh, is it because of a girl, right? Is that why you're so enthusiastic about going to school all of a sudden? And then Shima kind of just took that time to like, all right, I'm out of here. See you later. I don't want to talk about it. Goodbye. And so I guess perhaps this is what Ririka is referencing from. I don't know. They could also have had other conversations that we don't know about. But yeah, Ririka just came in. She sees Mitsumi, and she's just like, I get it. Understandable. And then we've got Shima, who doesn't want her to be here, so he just rushes her out of school, and then we learn that what is it? Alright, we see that she is a cover girl. She's a model. She's got big names, to which I will say, if Shima once had some sort of fame in his childhood, right, as a child actor, and then there's Ririka hanging out in that group, oh, you're like, fuck, dude, Chris is out here with good friends. God damn, this guy, is he also, like, I'm still trying to figure out that part where Shima says that sometimes he'll hang out, usually he'll hang out during his he would hang out with his with his friends from his child acting days. There you go. I'm just like, is that Chris? I'm still trying to figure out, I assume it's Chris. Because, I don't know, I don't think it would be Ririka, but whatever. So the idea of Ririka coming in terms of like a typical romance setting, right? Whenever the two main characters it feels like there's probably gonna be some sort of development on them, right? Mangakas tend to like to stick a fucking rod into the gear and just, you know, postpone it a little bit. And one of the big things that they usually do is showcasing either an ex or a friend who just happens to be really pretty or has a really good relationship with the other person, right? And it makes the other main character feel a little insecure about their relationship. So I assume that's what Ririka is here for, right? Even though she's, I would assume she's not particularly here to do it with malicious, out of like maliciousness, right? Maybe she might try and do it for the funsies. I don't know, right? But we're trying to fucking push it, right? She's right now she's what I would say a third-party threat, right? Because really, when it comes to some romance, writers tend to have a hard time figuring out how they should continue a romance, so then they kind of like to stick another character in, right? The third party. And that third party causes some sort of drama between the two main characters, and then that kind of keeps the gear running, kind of keeps the drama gear running, so then people will continue to read it because, oh, it's drama, right? I like this drama. But I haven't used the term third party threat in a long time, but it's something that I used to talk about a lot in my Yuri channel, because I mean that's often how it is in a lot of Yuris, where it's just like the moment they start to like really get close and maybe form and finalize their relationship, boom, a fucking third party threat comes in, or they're at this position where they're just locked into the friend zone, right? The both of them don't want to do anything to continue to advance the relationship because they're so scared or they're so comfortable in the situation that they are, and then the mangaka just doesn't know how to fucking deal with that. So then they just add in a third party threat who's gonna come in and threaten their relationship in order to push them forward, or in order to again to prolong the drama. And I assume that's what Ririka is going to be. But we will just see. Again, I feel like she's probably not going to do the whole thing maliciously, but she's probably just going to do, maybe it's like maybe it's like Mika, right? She just wants to come in and poke and pry them a little bit. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. But I would assume that Ririka's relationship with Shima will cause some sort of, gears grinding for Mitsumi. To which, by the way, Shima and Mitsumi's got their little zoo date right now, and I wonder if Ririka is just gonna fucking push herself into it as well. It's just because he did say it's easier to maneuver around the zoo as a group of 2 or 3. He didn't say just as a group of 2. He said 2 or 3. So he's really out here. He's really out here inviting someone else into the group if he says 2 or 3. So, I don't know, I can only assume that maybe she'll just fucking butt into their whole thing because she wants to see how their relationship is. People are just curious about why Shima, this boy, has changed for the better, maybe, right? So, we'll just have to see how that goes, and, we'll also have to see how Mika goes as well, right? Because Mika was at first not happy about the situation at hand, and she was leaving school, and now she met with Ririka, and now and Mika knows who Ririka is because of her her trendiness, right? She follows the trend and everything, so of course she knows the celebrities, and so it makes me wonder what Mika will say to Mitsumi. So we'll just have to see how that goes. So, overall, a very nice episode. Jesus Christ, this episode, it's truly went from 0 to 100. not in terms of like, whoa, all of a sudden, it's just like, we were really just starting with Takamine stuff, and then suddenly we hit the whole hot stuff, and then Ririka just comes in. It's just like, yeah, she's the cover girl. It's like, oh shit. Oh, fuck. But, again, it was a pretty good episode. I really enjoyed this. And we'll just have to see how episode 8 goes. But, if I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around. And I will see you guys in the next episode.